We are living in an era where the global power map is gradually changing, quietly yet clearly. When it comes to superpowers, people used to think immediately of Europe, the cradle of Western civilization, technology, finance, and political influence. But the big question is Europe weakening, or is Asia developing too rapidly? I have spent my life studying global shifts and will take you on a journey of analysis, from the stagnant economy in Europe to the strong rise of Asia, particularly Vietnam, a rising star that the world cannot ignore. Europe, a continent losing its position. Stagnant economy, aging population. Europe is facing long-standing structural issues that have persisted for decades. The economies of powerhouses like Germany, France, and Italy can no longer maintain their previous growth rates. The rapidly aging population, low birth rates, and the burden of social welfare are slowing down the development momentum. For example, Germany, the largest economy in the EU, officially fell into technical recession in 2023. Growth is nearly at 0%, inflation is prolonged, and energy prices have risen following the Russia-Ukraine conflict. War and political crisis. The war in Ukraine has not only cost the EU hundreds of billions of euros in aid but has also highlighted internal divisions. Many EU member states are at odds over policies towards Russia, the US, and even among themselves. Additionally, Brexit has revealed dissatisfaction with the EU's governance model and has created a domino effect on trust. Outdated technology, loss of competitiveness, /n/n. While the US and China are racing in AI and biotechnology, Europe is struggling with environmental policies and strict regulations that are causing startups and large corporations to withdraw from the market. For example, Nokia, once a source of pride for Europe, is now just a faint shadow compared to Apple, Huawei, or Samsung. /n conservative mindset, lack of innovation, /n. European society increasingly emphasizes individual rights and political correctness, but this inadvertently reduces competitiveness and the spirit of entrepreneurship among the youth. Young people in Europe are starting fewer businesses and are less willing to take risks. Asia, strong and persistent rise. Continuous economic growth. Asian countries, from China and India to ASEAN nations, are witnessing remarkable growth. Asia is currently the fastest growing region in the world, contributing over 60% of global growth. Young population, large market. The average age in many Asian countries is under 35, a tremendous advantage in labor and creativity. For example, India officially surpassed China in population in 2023, becoming a massive consumer market. Flexibility and aspiration to rise. Unlike stagnant Europe, young Asians always have the aspiration to rise. Startups are flourishing in Singapore, Indonesia, and Vietnam. China is leading the world in AI, electric vehicles, and large-scale manufacturing. Strong infrastructure investment. Asia is continuously building infrastructure, from highways, high-speed trains, seaports, to airports. All aimed at serving production and exports. Vietnam, a bright spot in Asia. Impressive economic growth. Vietnam's GDP has grown at an average rate of 6 to 7% per year over the past decade. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Vietnam remained one of the few countries to maintain positive growth. Industrial zones have been sprouting up like mushrooms after the rain in Bac Ninh, Binh Duong, Da Nang. Strategic position and the interest of great powers. Chinese President Xi Jinping has visited Vietnam 3 times in the past decade. U.S. President Joe Biden chose Vietnam as a key destination in 2023 to upgrade the relationship to a comprehensive strategic partnership. Russia, Japan, South Korea, Singapore, continuously invest and negotiate trade with Vietnam. Vietnamese people, patriotic, hospitable, and progressive. Vietnamese people love their country as an instinct. From American veterans returning to Vietnam for humanitarian work to tourists who were moved when invited to share a meal with farming families. Vietnam has something very sincere and close, making people want to return. Vietnam, worth investing and living in, /n/n. Are you looking to invest in real estate? Vietnam has rapidly transforming cities like Quy Nhon, Hai Phong, and Nha Trang, /n. Do you want to live in a peaceful yet vibrant place? Dalat, Hue, and Hoi An are ideal choices. So, is Europe weakening, or is Asia advancing too quickly? The reality is both. On one side is the fatigue of a once glorious continent, and on the other is the vibrant energy of young economies. The 21st century will be the century of Asia. And Vietnam, with all that it has, will be an important part of the new power map. Let's observe this shift, not with our eyes, but with our minds.